Hello everyone, my name is Christy and I am Caronlab's head trainer. Today I'm going to go through a bit of product knowledge and some tips and tricks when it comes to some of your waxing, your wax pot setups, and also some ingredients in our waxes and the benefits for those as well. So first of all, I'm going to go with the basic and start with our wax heaters. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a variety. We've got our 1 litre heaters, 500, we've got mini, and we've also got cartridge heaters and a multi as well. So we've got a few that you can choose from, which will suit depending on your trolley size or your bench space. You want to make sure that you've got some room on your bench to be able to fit at least 2 or 3. Ideally it's good to have 3, but this is why we also have minis, because they're nice and tight and compact and they should fit in most spaces. Now with our 1 litre heaters and our 500ml heaters, they have different skirts. So as you can see, I've got a hard wax skirt set up here and a strip wax skirt set up here. So what that is the difference is that this one has a slight frisbee-like appearance, and it's got a hole in the middle. So the idea behind that is that it actually skirts and kind of pergolas and protects your heater from having any dribblage of wax onto your wax pot, because as a beauty therapist, the last thing you want to do is spend your time cleaning. So that sits on nice and easily, clicks in there as there's like 3 little connectors. That clicks in, you insert, then goes in nice and easily. And the idea behind that is that there's a little rim that protects the insert from pooling too much wax and coming in between the thermostat and the wax insert there. So that's our hard wax skirt setup, and you can do this for both your 1 litres and your 500s. When you purchase our heaters, they give you both options, so you can swap and change whenever you need to. Then you've got your lid that just sits on there and conducts heat nice and evenly. Then we've got our strip wax skirt set up. So with this one here, you've actually got a bar on this skirt here. So see, you've got this metal bar here and you've got a nice rim on the inside, which is here like so. This actually goes on top. So you've got to actually pop your insert in first, and then this clicks on the top just like so. The idea behind that and the reasoning is that this lip here actually sits directly inside of your insert or your microwavable jar, and so when you actually wipe off the excess of wax onto the bar and off into your wax, it drips into your wax and not in the middle of your thermostat and your insert, because again, we don't want to spend too much time cleaning up at the end of the day, because that wastes time and money when you could be having a client in with an extra eyebrow wax or a bikini or an underarm or even a lower leg. So we want to reduce the amount of cleaning needed when using our wax pots and our waxes in our products. With our strip wax skirt setup, we don't recommend using hard wax with these skirts, only because our bar isn't connected to a thermostat, so it's not going to heat up like it would with some other inserts that are out on the market. And the reasoning behind this is that when you do use metal spatulas or anything of the like, your metal spatulas conduct heat, and you're not going to increase the chance of burning your client by having that metal insert sitting and resting on that metal bar there. And we also wanted to make sure that our inserts were interchangeable between our hard wax skirts and pots and our strip wax skirts and pots. So with the metal bar, because it doesn't conduct lots and lots of heat, and if you have your wax pot on too low, your hard wax can actually build up and clog up that front bar there, and makes it a lot harder to clean as well. So the reasoning behind our wax pots are about convenience and reducing the amount of cleanup time at the end of the day. With your hard wax skirt and most of our hard waxes, we recommend having a setting in between 4 and 5, or even as low as 3 for some of our lower heating waxes, but I like to have my hard wax at about a 4. Strip wax I have up to about anywhere between 5 and 6. You want to make sure that your waxes have the correct consistency, that way that they perform correctly and you're getting the best out of your treatments there. With our mini heaters here, they actually have a thermostat at the front, so they're actually really handy to have for brow waxing or even underarms, because it still fits the same amount of wax as our 500ml heater. So what we actually do there is that this doesn't come with an insert, but all you need to do is you either have your microwave to pot jar that sits directly into that insert there, or you can actually pour this in, or pour your beads directly into that insert. Is completely safe to do so. Has a cute little lid, cover it up and you're good to go. So you've got a thermostat at the front, so you can adjust that to suit yourself as well and the waxes that you're using inside of it. When you use a wax that is in your microwave to pot jar, I'd turn it up just a little bit more, as it does need to get through that extra plastic layer. But when you've got your beads, I probably leave it at about 5, anywhere between 4 and 5 for a nice consistency there. Then you've got your cartridge system. So with our cartridge system, we've got a multi-cartridge heater that fits 6 cartridges, that allows you to heat your cartridges on the go, and have a good 6 range of cartridges, so that you can refill your cartridge heater here. With this just slides off the dock here, and that's your insert and your cartridge there. So that just goes in nice and easily. You can roll nice and cool, nice and calmly, nice and easily as well. And that just slides back in there for heating purposes. Now with our cartridge system, you can actually put multiple cartridges onto the one dock. So we've got a cord here that attaches to the side. So instead of having 3 or 4 cords coming out from the side, you can actually grab your other cartridge heater, grab the dock, take this little lip or cap off the side, and then where your cord would go on your other dock, that actually sits on the inside and clicks in like that. So then you can have 2 working cartridges at the same time, and you can almost have 3 or 4. So you can kind of continue building that little train there. So that's another benefit of using our cartridge system. With our cartridges, they melt within about 10 to 15 minutes, especially if you've got it on a level 5, they melt really, really nicely. With the temperatures of our waxes and how to recognise when to best use them, is making sure that you understand the consistency of them. So traditional hard waxes generally have a core in the middle, so as you can see, that's resting on a core, and then it's got a runny outer. So you want to make sure that you can actually get access to that core, and you've got a nice runny outer layer there. So the idea is that you pick up from that core and the runny outer, and you're continuously twirling that spatula. So as soon as you're just to stop, that's going to drip, and that means that it's a perfect working consistency and temperature. And I'll show you how that is and how that applies. So you can rest it on, and then you just drag it down. Nice and easily. Okay, so as you can see, that's covered quite a bit of my arm, but that's the working temperature. You want to have nice, even, thicker edges, and you want to have a nice lip on that end as well. So it's nice and flexible on that arm, and that's like our traditional hard waxes. You don't need them too thin, but you can also work with them a little bit thicker, especially around those edges there. So this is our Brazilian. So our Brazilian is a hybrid wax, and it is traditionally our film wax. So you can actually use this for full body waxing, including legs, arms, Brazilians, face, the whole lot. So it's a really good alternative for those that don't want to have strip waxes on their trolley. And we've also got our Pro HD, which doesn't have any colours or fragrances as well, which is this here. With our Brazilian, we've had this for quite a number of years. It's one of our best-selling waxes. It's got a mandarin scent to it, and it's got a beautiful blue in colour. as I've been sitting here, that has been cooling, and because this wax uses a synthetic based resin, and I will get to the pros and cons of our resins and whether they're synthetic or natural and what to choose, it keeps the pliability. Flexibility, pliability is everything you want in a wax because it's going to mold really easily around the body and it's going to adhere to hair. So you just flip that up, which will be easy because it just releases from the skin, being a synthetic based resin. And I'm going to do this a bit slower than you normally would, but you can actually see the pull on the skin and how grippy that is, but it still releases, so it's still going to be gentle. Okay, so you want that nice and wafer thin. So that is a perfect consistency. And as you can see, it's still got a lot of flexibility to it. So it's not going to go brittle or break on you at all. So that's our Brazilian. Our next best-selling wax, well, our number one best-selling XXX wax, is our Brilliance. So Brilliance is again a synthetic based resin, but it actually is creamy. So with this wax, you want to make sure that you've got your core. So I've got a core here, and that you're picking up wax from that runny outer and that core, and you're continuously twirling. If you were to stop and that wax doesn't drip off as fast as you'd like it to, it's too cold. And when your wax is too cold, it's not going to adhere and wrap itself around the hair, making your wax service, you're going to have to over apply, waste your wax, and then your wax service is going to take longer and won't be as efficient as you'd want it to be. So using something that's a cream based wax, as you can see here, means that it contains titanium dioxide. When your product or your wax contains titanium dioxide, it means it helps with reduction of inflammation and redness. So when you wax your client, especially a Brazilian, they tend to go really red raw. But using something that is a synthetic based and has titanium dioxide ensures that you're going to have the reduction of redness and inflammation. So your clients can walk out almost not red at all. So the Brilliance is absolutely fantastic for that. So it's our best selling XXX wax there. As you can see, it's got a gorgeous creamy consistency and a coconut fragrance there. So that's our Brilliance. With our strip waxes, this one is our Pro HD. With your strip waxes, you want them to be in a nice runny honey consistency. So you don't want a core and you don't want it to be really, really thick. You want to still be able to apply it nice and thinly, because if you apply your strip wax too thick, then you've got the chance of pulling, bruising, and you've also got the chance of skin lifting, which is what you don't want to do. So when you run it around, pick it up from the sides and you want it runny. You want it really, really runny. And that's perfect. And then you'll be able to apply that a lot thinner and then save yourself some wax as well. Then we've got our Bravado, which has a holographic shimmer through it. It absolutely smells fantastic. It's a honeysuckle and pear fragrance, and it is our gel wax. So it is designed for contouring and sculpting the brows and releases really, really easily from the skin. So a lot of questions that I get is how many waxes, what's the best wax? It's not that there's a wax that's best, there's a wax that's best for you. So it doesn't mean that one wax is better, is supposed to work for everyone, because something that might work for you might not work for someone else, and that doesn't mean that it's a bad wax at all. It just means that you're looking for a certain property or a certain performance that you require for the services that you are providing, and it's totally fine for someone to be able to achieve the same results with a different type of wax. For example, my favorite waxes tend to be on your pinker or your clear side, and I also like using synthetic based resins because I like the pliability and the flexibility of it. The other thing as well is that I like cream-based waxes for Brazilians, but I like clear-based waxes for the face and underarms, purely because clear-based waxes tend to be grippier and they tend to be a lot better for your short and stubborn hairs. Brilliance will wrap itself around, or your cream-based waxes like your strawberry cream or romance hard wax, they will wrap themselves around the hair, allowing the pull. But sometimes when you've got really short stubborn hair that people have shaved, you may need something just that tiny bit grippier, and that's where Braziliant or our Pro HD hard wax comes in handy, because they're great for those short and stubborns when people have been shaving particularly. Going on to natural and synthetic based resins. So the difference between a natural and synthetic is a natural based resin tends to dry really quickly, so it's really good for your speed waxing, but you might find that if you leave it on the skin for too long, it'll be harder to remove because sometimes they can break. Luckily with ours, we use our paraffin, which helps with the flexibility of our hard wax based waxes with natural based resins, but you've still got that chance that if you've covered a large area that you don't have the flexibility or the pliability as you would with a synthetic based resin. That is why a lot of our waxes now are synthetic based, because you'll find that they're just a little bit more versatile and a little bit more friendly in terms of allergies. So something like our Pro HD that doesn't contain any fragrance or is colour free will be perfect, because it's hyperallergenic and you're going to have absolutely no reactions. Whereas when you use something that's a natural based resin, people tend to become, some people are allergic to that and can come up in hives. Now, being allergic to wax is normal. We've got hay fever, we sneeze, we're allergic to natural things. So just because it's a natural based resin doesn't mean it's better in terms of the waxing world. So keep that in mind. When you have an allergy to the resin or waxing, a lot of people don't realise that it's actually based on the resin that wax is used. So making sure that you know the ingredients of your waxes is really, really important, so that you know that you can cater for any type of customer or client. When you use something like our Brilliance or our Pro HD, those reactions are minimised, almost eliminated. So using something that you know that you've got a broad range of clientele that have lots of different needs, you want to make sure you've got a couple of waxes on your trolley to be able to service these treatments. So I always like to have 3 or 4 waxes. 4 is being very generous, and a lot of people don't have that availability, but I tend to have a nice cream-based wax for my Brazilian waxing, a clear-based wax similar to our Braziliant or a Pro HD for facial waxing and more your contouring side that's a little bit more grippier and really good for picking up those fine and fluffy hairs in the one application. And then I have a strip wax which is versatile. So something like our Romance strip wax or even our Pro HD strip wax can help. They also come in different types of forms too. So you've got the option with our hard wax to have them in either pellets, beads or a microwavable jar. So the beads come in our 800 gram bags. I thought that was going to fall. So we've got our 800 gram bags, or your Bravado comes in your 500 gram bags. So the beads are extremely popular now as they melt really, really quickly. So having your wax pot on a certain temperature, if you let your wax get too low and then you try and refill with beads, means that you won't be able to get to that nice workable wax that's melted already at the bottom because the beads have covered it. So the beads are designed to be refilled on a regular basis. So if you see it getting low, pop a little scoop full. We've got them in 5 kilogram boxes as well. So you've got the option of a bulk buy as well. Then you've got your 800 gram jars, which are completely microwavable. Pop that into the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes, and then you can either pour it or put it directly into your insert. So what that looks like is in our strip wax skirt here. So this is our microwave to pot concept. So if I've microwaved this, I can pop this directly into my insert and go. The benefit of that is that you can actually swap and change your waxes as you need them, or if you want to swap and change in between clients, or you feel like you want to try a different type of wax to see if that works better for you. So that's one of our benefits of being able to microwave and pour or drop, or you can microwave it and pour it in. So that's completely up to you. I do like to pop my wax directly into my insert just because I find that the heating time has been reduced because it doesn't have to get through that extra heated level. We've also got 400 gram sizes as well, which I explained earlier can fit into your mini heaters, like so. So again, if you are swapping or changing or you're mobile, you can microwave and pop them into your wax heater nice and easily, just like that. With our strip waxes, they come in your 400 gram microwavable and your 800 gram microwavable and your cartridge sizes. So we've got 100 ml and your 80 grams. So that's our waxes. Now going on to our pre and post care. Pre and post care is really important for waxing because you want your wax to be the most efficient and you want to have really, really good results. So we've got our pre-skin cleanser, which contains peppermint oil and alcohol. So what the alcohol does is that it evaporates, so you don't need to use any disposables or any cotton rounds, fibrellas to remove any excess because it evaporates up. Also, a little goes a long way, so you don't need to use a lot of this, and the peppermint provides a really good soothing and cooling sensation, so that's lovely to use. When you are mid-wax, we have our quick dry mist, which contains mica. So as you can see, there's a little bit of white filament on the bottom there. That is a product of titanium dioxide. So mica is a form of titanium dioxide which helps with the reduction of inflammation and redness again. So what you want to do is you want to give that a really, really good shake. Make sure that that mica is swirling throughout that whole solution, and you can spray that onto the skin to help reduce redness and inflammation. Another benefit and the main reason why we have quick dry set mist is that you can actually pop hard wax onto your arm or your leg, Brazilian, and if you're trying to speed up that treatment, you can actually spray this over the wax and it'll set it nice and quickly for you so you can work quicker. Really good for hot and humid environments. Next product that we have that you use post-waxing, so you've got your pre, during and post, is our after waxing oil. Our after waxing oil contains tea tree, which helps with pustules and pimples, antibacterial. Because it's a nice thin oil, it will help remove sticky wax residue, leaving the skin nice and sticky free. The other thing as well is that it does help with your ingrown hairs as well. So your tea tree is great it's a natural antiseptic and anti-inflammatory. Another tip that we use with our after wax oil is I actually use it to clean our wax pots. So if I've got a little bit of wax sitting on my pot, the benefit of using an oil is that it creates a slight film, making it easier to clean up in between waxing. So you can actually clean that up like so. Clean your wax pots up too. And then you've cleaned up your wax pot, leaving it with a nice little film, an oily film, making in between cleans that much easier. So it's great for cleaning up your wax pot. Black. White is brightness. Think of the appearance of the skin brightening up. Black kind of goes a little bit deeper and helps bring out deeper. So think of underneath dark, so bringing that up, and then you've got your white, which is more of your appearance, brightness, brightening. So that's kind of where you can kind of figure out what your clients might need. In the range as well, we've got our hand creams. The hand cream's a beautiful, really easily fast absorbing moisturizer. Contains your vitamin C, which fights oxidative stress. And it also boosts the radiance and improves the skin tone evenness as well. So you've got your main ingredient is your Kakadu plum, which smells absolutely divine. And really good to have in your handbag. So even if you're driving your car and you want to pop some cream on your hands, you want to make sure that you're popping these on to help with your aging size and help fight that as well. So that's your creams too. Another thing that we've got in our Caronlab range are oils. So we've got oils that are soybean based. So something like your unscented is a really good base for aromatherapy and aromatherapists that like to make their own concoctions. Has a very mild scent, if anything at all, and again soybean based, so you're not going to have any allergies or any nut allergies coming out from there. Another good base that we have is our sweet almond. So these are our two bases here. Your sweet almond is obviously made of almonds, so just make sure that you know your client's allergies. But these are our two bases for making your own little essential oil concoctions. Whereas we do have a couple of pre-made oils. So we've got things like our muscle and joint, which contain wintergreen, which have a really good it's got wintergreen, pine, eucalyptus, and a bit of rosemary. So it's a little bit heating. So because of the rosemary, it's heating of the muscles, warming that up, and really good for your muscle and joints. So post sports or anything you're cramping, we've got that one there as well. They're all water soluble, so they all wash off in water and wash off your towels, clothing, and hands. So they've got a surfactant in there that helps wash that out. Then we've got things like our creams, which have your arnica, really good for bruising, and you've got an original cream, which if you don't want something that's oily and you're a masseuse and you want something, or a chiropractor, and you just want a little bit for maybe a little bit of a knot, your creams are really good for that, as it just gives you that little bit of glide, but it doesn't give you that longevity of the oil that you can get in your oil. Another one that we have is our unscented gels. So similar to the unscented oil, but it has a paraffin in there. So I always think of it as a kind of like a coconut oil. So when your coconut oil is cold, it solidifies, just like our unscented massage gel. When you pop it onto your hands or fingers, it melts really, really easily and gives you that glide. So you've got less drippage, and it's actually really, really good for facial massages. So mixing a little bit of this with the actual oil will give you a really good longevity of a glide for when you're massaging. And this is soybean based. So that's our unscented gel. We also have disposables, so things like spatulas, bed rolls, strips. So you've got your different strips. You've got your calico strips, which are your cotton strips, and you've also got our non-woven strips like our Venetian and stuff as well. Personal preference, what you prefer. I'm a calico fan. I love my calico, but some people want something a bit stiffer. So you've got your options there. And you've also got headbands. So we've got white or black headbands, so really good for your facials, even if you're doing brow work. So they've just got a nice Velcro attachment there. And we've also got body wraps, and that's your white headband there. So we've got our body wraps, which has been an absolute seller for facials. So you've got your white, they come with a little pocket, so your client has a little pocket to put their phone or their jewelry in, and you've got press studs as well. So because it's got your press studs, you can actually adjust it to 2 sizes. So you can pop it in so it's bigger, or if you've got a smaller client, you can actually just close that in and make it smaller. So they're very, very adjustable for all shapes and sizes there, and they're a beautiful washable terry towel in there. Absolutely feels like absolute velvet. If anyone has any questions regarding any of the products that we have, this is obviously just a small range of Caronlab. We've got lots and lots in there. Have a look on our website, have a browse of the products that we have available, get into our club, log in, join. We've got lots of training videos available, and we've also got an online course if anyone wants a bit of a refresher as well, post-school, post-studying, even if you haven't been in the business for a while and you just or the industry for a while and you just want a refresher course, we do have our online training there that goes through some of our basic total body waxing. Again, if you have any questions, send through any inquiries to info@caronlab.com.au. If you'd like to place any orders, send that through, give us a call, and we can run through the details for you with that one as well. I hope you've all enjoyed it and have felt that it's been very informative. If you would like to know or learn about anything else that I might not have mentioned today, again, just give us a call. We're only a phone call away. So again, my name is Christy, and thank you for joining me with today's product knowledge webinar. Okay, bye.